You have tuned in to New Approach. I'm your Public Relations Director and host, Jeanine Mitchell. New Approach selects extraordinary men and women to share their stories of how they overcame unsurmountable odds. New Approach also creates a platform for them to market their business, service, or product through broadcasted videos. On today's show, I have Cheryl Smith of Collaboration Station and Florine Jones, and she'll be talking about Renew You. And so without further ado, let's just get started.
It is my great pleasure to announce my guest, Cheryl Smith of Collaboration Station. She is here to talk about her organization. Tell us, what is the mission of Collaboration Station?
Thank you, Jeanine, so much for having me. I really appreciate being here. Collaboration Station, in essence, is a 501c3 organization, and we're very grassroots, and our primary focus is to actually help low-income people who are trying to decrease their dependency on public benefits. A lot of times, sometimes people think that the low-income populations really want to stay where they are, and they really don't. At least that's not everybody. Some people really do want to have a hand up instead of a hand out. And so the focus of our organization is to help them make the transition to being able to do that.
Okay, that sounds awesome. And when was it founded?
Well, Collaboration Station has been in existence for 15 years, but we have actually been working in Cleveland, Ohio, and the surrounding counties for since 2007. So we've been here for a while, 10 years.
Yes, that's a long journey there. That's great. So, what is it that your organization provides socially and economically?
Well, our primary focus in terms of helping people break the cycle of dependency on benefits is through work programs and entrepreneurship programs. Our primary focus is to enable people to build themselves up through jobs, whether it's creating their own job through entrepreneurship or through actually helping themselves with a job and being able to get a job. We focus more so on the work retention part of that because a lot of times with the populations that we serve, it's not so much getting the job as it is keeping it, that is keeping them in their low-income state. And so one of the things that we really try to do is focus on the on-the-job training, really helping them start from the job and build a work ethic. And as they build their work ethic, what they're actually able to do is grow themselves to a point where, oh, I can do this work thing independently without having to worry about losing my job. And once I have done that, I can then see myself making the kind of money I need to support myself and be self-sufficient. And we're able to do that with people with entrepreneurship as well. It takes longer, okay, with entrepreneurship. Usually people who work with us there are with us for about 6 months to about almost 3 years, depending on how serious they are. But they actually do it, and they find themselves coming to a point where they're no longer dependent on their benefits. So those are the two vehicles we primarily use.
Okay, and now since we've spoken, you have added 2 other programs to your outreach. That would be Father Initiative and Meals on Wheels. Explain to the viewers a little bit about those programs you added.
Okay, well, we actually do have the Fatherhood Initiative, which is primarily located in Trumbull County. There's a whole other kettle of fish. I'll definitely get into that. But everything is connected and networked. With our on-the-job training program, there are 3 different tracks that they could potentially take advantage of. One of them is our stadium work program, where they work all of the different games, whether it's the Browns games, the Cavaliers games, doing food concessions, and even the Indians games. And then we have the Meals on Wheels program, which is designed for people who really do have culinary in their blood, love to cook, but have a skill at it. And so one of the things that they're able to do is prepare food for people who are less fortunate and then be able to deliver it. So what's wonderful about the Meals on Wheels program is that it's a community service inside a community service, which shows a double benefit to the community. And then our newest program, which is coming out, is our construction program. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. That's a whole other layer. But with all of that, the key thing is being able to train people on how to gain and maintain their own job, which leads us to a whole different set of populations. A lot of the people that we serve, some of them are homeless, they're transient, they're not able to actually maintain their own place because they can't keep a steady job. So some of those populations end up being people who have barriers to success, like addiction recovery, being ex-offenders, and another big population we found that we have is those fathers who are in child support and needing to make their child support payments to take care of their children. So that's where the Trumbull County Fatherhood Initiative comes in. In Trumbull County, we actually manage their Fatherhood Initiative, which is designed to help fathers who are having difficulty paying their child support and wanting to support their kids, give them a hand up to be able to do that. So in Trumbull County, we tie them to our work programs here in Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, and then we also do parenting classes and communication classes for the dads, so that they are able to not only parent well with their children, but communicate very well with mom. They try to avoid as much of the baby mama drama as possible, as well as being able to communicate with child support, their caseworker, even with Jobs and Family Services, and all the other places that they have to interact with in order to be able to effectively pay their child support and support themselves and their children.
Okay, so what's the criteria to be a part or recipient of Meals on Wheels, and what's the criteria to be a part of the Father Initiative program?
Well, for Meals on Wheels, we get all of our, well, since it's two populations, just to be able to receive Meals on Wheels, it's definitely individuals who are seniors, so my 55 years and older, but then also individuals who might have disabilities, because we do have individuals who might have chronic or acute health conditions, and they may not be 55, they could be 39. And so our primary focus is to make sure that they have food, because we focus on food as medicine. And so that is the client for Meals on Wheels, but those who serve them in our program are usually individuals, they vary in age, but the key thing is that they have some experience in actually preparing food. So it could be, I used to work in a restaurant, I used to be in the military, I used to be a fry cook, I used to cook at home because I took care of all my kids, and then I started school for culinary, but I didn't finish.
Okay.
So those are the folks that we tend to take in for our Meals on Wheels program. For the Fatherhood Initiative in Trumbull County, there is really only one requirement, and that is that you have child support payments that you have to make. Whether it is child support now or child support that they're behind in, either way, our whole focus is to connect with you and with the caseworker at Jobs and Family in the child support area, enforcement area, to make it easier for the dads to be able to support their kids as well as being able to support themselves and make their payments.
Okay. And what type of legacy would you like to leave behind?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question. You know, in terms of a legacy, I guess what I would say is, Collaboration Station is affectionately called my baby because I started it. I'm a founder, CEO. And so with that, I think the legacy that we really want to leave, a lot of times we're thought of as a job work readiness agency, but we're really not. We're really a human services organization. All the people who come to us, they come to us because they have a human need in their life that they need help with. And it just so happens to land on either trying to better financially support themselves or being able to work. And so the legacy that we want to leave is that we helped people who were in an in-between place, who needed to bridge a gap between where they are and where they're trying to go. And if Collaboration Station was that bridge to help you get from I can't figure out how to do this to now I'm supporting myself, I was in a homeless shelter, now I'm able to live on my own. I was staying at my mom's house, and now I can actually support myself with my own paycheck. That is really the legacy that we want to leave. I would want the agency to be known for helping people make their life transition. Because everyone is not perfect. And everyone cannot accomplish all of the, we think just having a job and paying bills is simple. Well, it is for a lot of us. But for people who have barriers to their life, wrong turns that they took before they got a certain age, and now I've got to live again, we are that transport, and we collaborate with them to help them make it. Hence the name, Collaboration Station.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Okay, we're going to do something different. The second part of the interview, I like to get more personal, and I'd like you to share your story. Hopefully, you can inspire the viewers that are listening and watching. What was your hardships when you first, before you even became Collaboration Station, like before you founded your organization?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stories do you have? Everybody has a story, so what is it that you can share with us?
You know, I think my story probably is twofold, because I think a lot of times, you know, before I started the vision, my concern was always for the individuals. You know how it says in the Bible, whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me. My concern was always running into people who could not do for themselves. And it really, really pained me because, or I should say what pained me, is because sometimes I get labeled as people who just feel like they should be entitled, or they just feel like I should just have this. And a lot of times when you stop and get to know people's stories, like you were saying, you find out, oh, well, wait a minute, they're not like this because they want to be. They're like this because life happened and they could not get back up.
So share us your personal story, like your story where you overcame some challenging times and circumstances.
Oh, I'm still overcoming. I'm still overcoming. I just,
It's not the small short version.
I'm still overcoming. Honestly, I think that I didn't really have a story like that until I started Collaboration Station.
Okay.
Because a lot of times what happens is you get in a business and you start it and you think it's going to be easy. You think, oh yes, I just want to feed the hungry children or save these people. And oh, everyone's just going to run to my door to help me do that because it's a need. I can see it. It's on TV. It's on the news. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. And so what I found was I had to put a lot of my own personal resources that I had. I quit my job to do this. Ooh,
What were you working at? What were you doing before?
Oh, I used to do, I never worked in anything. I got a degree in, it's so funny. But the last job that I had before I started this was I was actually working for, legal services in Columbus, Ohio. So I was a part of, not as an attorney, but I was a part of their technology and organizing department. Very, very small department of one, okay? Where around the state of Ohio begin to update their technology so that they can better serve the clients who needed help, free legal help. And when I left that job, I just knew I just needed to have just a little bit of startup money on my own, and then I could begin to serve these people, and then grant funders and folks would just run to the door to help these wonderful people after hearing this story. And so I've had to spend a good number of years trying to rebuild my own personal financial situation while I'm helping other people to build their own, which sometimes can become frustrating, sometimes can be very saddening because you know you're doing a good work, and you're told you're doing a good work, but nobody is supporting it, which makes it hard. But it doesn't make it any less something that you should do for the least of these. And me personally, my journey started with this, with asking the Lord, okay, Jesus, what is it that you want me to do? What is my purpose in life? And this is one of the things that He gave me. To do this, to feed my hungry people. And in feeding, I don't just mean giving them some food. I mean feed their spirit, feed their soul, feed their emotions with the things that they need so that they can move forward. And so that ends up being a lot of my story. You don't do this kind of stuff to get rich. I did not get into it to get rich at all. The whole purpose or focus in terms of me, which is why I still do it, is because you really want to help people rebuild their lives. And you want them to be able to do that in such a way that allows them not only to live for themselves, but also give back to others that they have met along the way who they know are in the exact same position. So that is really why I do it.
Okay, and what do we have to look for in the future for collaboration stations?
Oh, in the future, we got all kinds of stuff. Let's see. We initially started with the Meals on Wheels program, and then also, the Meals on Wheels program was the second program. We started with the Stadium Work program. Now we're moving into the construction arena. And you would think moving from food to construction would be hard, but it's not. You know, like it's a big, big gap. But it's not from the standpoint of why we do it. We decided to go into construction because a lot of the individuals that we serve do not have a permanent place to stay. So how can they get to work if they are trying to figure out where I'm laying my head down at night?
Exactly.
So then they don't show up for work, and then they get fired. Well, in our program, no, we're not doing that. Our construction program was literally started to meet the need of individuals in work programs for us or in other work programs who need a safe place to stay. And while we're at it, what we do is we train them. They work with licensed general contractors who, after they finish their training and actually help renovate a house, they actually can be hired on with that contractor and begin to start their apprenticeship and working towards a goal of getting certified or licensed in construction. And along with that, those who succeed and excel in their training will also be allowed to live in the house that they actually helped to renovate.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
yeah.
So Cheryl, tell them if the viewers who are interested in utilizing your services, give them your social platforms that you're using so they can contact you.
Okay, well, there's lots of different ways you can contact us. I promise, whether you want to volunteer or if someone needs help. We are on Facebook. If it's a Meals on Wheels piece, if someone's interested in the Meals on Wheels, or if they need to receive Meals on Wheels. We are on Facebook. It's called Chat Meals, CCHAP Meals, is where we are on Facebook. You can also find us at Chat Food, CCHAPfood.org. That's our website for the meal program. Outside of that, Collaboration Station's website is www.collab.station.org. You can also reach us by the traditional method, phone, which is 216-777-2136.
Well, Cheryl, I'm so honored that you're on the show today, and I hope that you come back, and thank you for coming out again.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take care. I have a phenomenal guest today on New Approach. Her name is Florine Jones. She is here to talk about her organization called Renew You for Women. Tell us about the mission of Renew You.
Thank you for having me. Renew You is a nonprofit, faith-based organization that's dedicated to strengthening women.
That is awesome. And how do you strengthen the women?
We provide workshops for the women that are topics which are building their self-esteem, just giving them a hope and a vision of how to overcome life's adversity.
So how does your organization help socially and economically?
Socially, it helps the women to build esteem. It helps them to change their mindset. It also helps them to know how to be that, to start over.
That's great, and that's what these women need today. And so, can you provide two memorable stories where women have come through your program and they have success stories because of the help that you offered them?
Because I am a counselor as well, I counsel women from a biblical base, whereas these women are able to move forward in spite of the adversity that they go through. I am also a domestic violence advocate.
Florine, tell us a little bit about that, the domestic violence advocate.
I am a domestic violence advocate, helping these women because domestic violence is it comes in all forms. It doesn't necessarily have to be a husband and wife. It can be a mother and her children. It can be friends. It comes in all different forms. So domestic violence, which as you can see on the news, there's so much of it going on. And that's what women need to be educated. They need to be inspired. They need to be empowered. They need to know the power that's within them.
That is so awesome, and like you said, it's so needed today to build the self-esteem, especially when the women have been broken. And the fact that you're including the faith part of it, that is necessary as well. Now, I know that you serve more of the women that are coming through abuse, but there are also men that come through the abuse. Have you ever thought about doing a Renew You for men?
Not at this moment. Maybe I'm being biased because I too was a victim, and my focus is on women. If I can share with them how to overcome the pain and the shame that they may have experienced, I think it would be a blessing to them more. Right now,
Yes.
Right now, not for the men. I really believe that a man should, which I don't have a problem with it
Yes.
because I have ministered to men,
Okay.
but right now it's just women.
That's okay. That's okay. That's what your strength is, and that's what God's leading you right now. So it's all good. Okay. And so, what is it that you would like to tell women that are coming through an abusive situation? How could they reach you if they're interested in utilizing your program?
I can be reached at renewyou_1234 at yahoo.com. Again, renewyou_1234 at yahoo.com.
Okay, awesome. Now we're on the second part of the interview right now, and that's I get a little bit more personal. So one of the questions that I'm interested in asking you right now is, you said that you actually was abused. Do you mind sharing your personal experience when you were abused?
Not at all. I too was a victim of domestic violence. I was in a toxic, unhealthy marriage relationship for 38 years. We were together for 40 years. It took me 38 years for a light bulb to turn on to say enough is enough. And I met my husband, my ex-husband, at the age of 14.
Wow.
Childhood sweetheart, okay?
Yes. Wow.
So I met him at 14. I got pregnant at 14. I had my first child at 15. We got married at 16. I had my second child at 17. I had my third child at age 22. And the last one, I have 4 children, 29 years old.
And you can't believe that she's that age, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it was an abusive relationship, physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally, financially. These were the different aspects that affected me and my family in the domestic violence situation. It took me 38 years. You know how the man that was at the pool, I didn't have the mindset to say you can make it. I made up in my mind, yes you can. It wasn't as if I didn't have a job or,
Right.
It was like I became numb. That's what it was. I knew how to deal with it. So after a while, the physical had stopped because the children began to grow. So, when you have children, as they were grown, they weren't going to have it. So it became emotionally and mentally and verbally.
So what was your new approach to getting out, like all the way out, and just totally being healed
I had a plan. I planned it.
from it?
It took me years. I made up in my mind. Go for it. A person really can't tell a person when to leave. That's something that they have to do on their own. I mean, I could tell you all day long, I can minister to you all day, I can do all that. But you have to make up in your mind. You have to change your mind. You have to change your mindset. You have to know that you have worth,
Exactly.
you're valuable, and really knowing how powerful you really are. All you have to do is plan. Plan to make that exit. As you can see on the news, so many people are, they're killing their spouses and they're doing all those things. So those were the things that were going through my mind, simply because that was what had happened in his family. His mom had to protect herself, and it happened. She took his life, his dad's life. And his dad died in his arms, and that had an effect on him being 17 years old. So therefore, at the age of 17, he had made up in his mind, when I turn 18, I'm going to ask your mom to marry you. So we got married. But little do people know that when the spirit goes out of, now this is a little deep, when the spirit goes out of, when the spirit goes out of a person, it goes into that person. He took on his dad's demons.
Wow. Well, then that goes into generational curses right there.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I totally understand that. So did you have someone in mind that had experience that you utilized your services that were able to overcome?
Yes, there are a lot of people, it's funny that you would say that, because those are the people that cross my path. Women that have been in a domestic violence relationship, pretty much just like it says, your misery is your ministry. And that's pretty much what, I couldn't understand. Why are these women, these are the problems, these are the issues that they were having.
Right.
And I had the solution because I had gone through it, and grace be to God, if it had not been for him, I don't know where I would be.
Exactly. And I was just going to ask you, where did you get your strength from to get out?
Yeah.
And so you basically said God got you out.
And you know what? And God had different people to cross my path to minister to me, to mentor me, to help me, to get out of that bad situation. And I thank God for that,
And so you're just paying it forward.
Yes.
And God is using you, and people are so much better. The women are so much better now that you are helping them. With that type of challenge and hard times. So, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind? What type of legacy would you like for women to leave behind?
If I could speak into the lives of women that have gone through whatever the situation may have been, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's a loss of a loved one, whether it's losing your job, or being evicted, whatever the case may be, hurt is hurt. When you're hurt, these wounds that are in, isolate yourself from people. Whereas you don't want to share your story with someone, but that's the purpose of these workshops. We come together where they are able to lay aside every weight that so easily beset them, and to get rid of the baggage. I would like to leave that legacy. If I could speak into their lives and they receive it, I would feel fulfilled, knowing that they got it, knowing that they can, no matter what life throws you, face it and go through it and move forward.
That's wonderful, and that's going to help so many people, what you just said. People are going to be inspired and encouraged and empowered. So, Florine, I'm so glad that you got a chance to come on the show. We've been trying to do this for the longest, and I hope that you come back when for the future.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming in.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you for tuning in. On next time, take care.
Thank you for tuning in to New Approach. And remember, turn your pain into passion and your passion into purpose. There's nothing you can't overcome.